Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. It's Curtis. I'm back today to do a cake tutorial. It's very Valentine's themed. I bought a heart-shaped pan just especially for this video. I've never really done a cake that, before this one I'm going to show you. I've never done a cake that's not a circle before. All my cakes are circles, so I thought I'd get a heart-shaped pan because it's Valentine's Day. And I challenged myself icing a cake that's not a circle, and I did a pretty good job, I think. And I had just had this idea of like English roses, or like an English rose garden on top of a heart-shaped cake. I think it would look so romantic, and I'm really happy with how this cake turned out. In this cake tutorial, I'm going to show you how to ice the heart-shaped cake and how to pipe the flowers and how to just put them all on top of the cake and make it look really, really pretty. I know I should have got this cake tutorial up last week, but I had a stressful week last week and I've just, you know what, girl, I've been going through it, you know, I've been busy. But I'm only one day off, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's up anyway, and it's just in time for Valentine's Day. So I hope you enjoy this cake tutorial, and we're gonna go straight in there. To get started for this cake, I baked a chocolate cake in an 8-inch heart-shaped pan. I will link where I got this heart-shaped pan from in the description box below. I just got it from Amazon. And I'm just going to level this off and cut this cake into 3 layers. If you're wondering the chocolate cake recipe, I do have this on my channel, so I'll also link that in the description box below. Once I've leveled it off and cut it into 3 layers, I'm going to sugar syrup it so it stays nice and moist. I'm going to put some buttercream onto a 10-inch cake board and put my first layer on top of that so it doesn't move about. I spread a thin layer of raspberry jam on the cake, and I took a piping bag and piped around some Swiss meringue buttercream in the shape of the cake. It just made it a lot easier to get it an even shape by doing this, and I spread it down with a palette knife and I sprinkle on some frozen raspberries on top. I do the exact same process for my next layer, some jam, some buttercream and some sprinkled on raspberries on top, and then I put my final layer on top and just squish it down to make sure it's all compressed and together. I'm not going to do a crumb coat, so literally just exactly the same with me doing like a round cake. Just take a thin layer of buttercream, put that around the cake. A crumb coat is just a thin layer of buttercream, just lock in all those crumbs so it doesn't affect my final layer of frosting. Once I'm happy with my crumb coat, I'm going to pop that in the fridge for about half an hour to an hour, and then I can do my final layer of frosting. So I'm doing Swiss meringue buttercream again, a little bit more of a generous amount this time, going around the cake just to cover it completely, and then I start to scrape it down. As I was scraping it down, I kind of had this fun idea to use a cake comb against the cake. I think it'd be a really cool texture to use it. So I got a cake comb. I've used one of these before on my channel, and I just kind of go around the cake, and as you can see, it leaves like this rigid mark on it. So I go around this a few times just until I get until I'm happy with the ridges and I've got it all like even, if you know what I mean. So I just go around the cake quite a few times until I'm happy with the finish, and then once I'm happy with the finish, I can get rid of that lip at the top of the cake so I have a nice sharp corner. So that's the cake pretty much done, so I'm going to put that in the fridge just to leave it in there, and I can start my buttercream flowers. So I've got a flower nail here with some wax paper, and I've piped a small blob on there with a light pink, and I'm using, I believe, a Wilton 103 tip. I believe that's what I'm using here. And I start with that blob in the middle, and I kind of do like a star shape, if you know what I mean, with the thinner side pointing upwards, and then I go around that 2 times, as you can see here. It leaves me with this ruffled effect, and that's going to be the inside of our English rose. And then going in with another 103 tip in a white or off-white colour, I start doing long petals on the very inside. It only takes about 4 or 5 petals to go all the way around, and then I'm going to do this in 3 layers, if you know what I mean. So this is the second layer. I'm just going to go around that, and when you're doing the petals, you want the petal on the outside to be higher than the one on the inside. I'm a little bit off camera here, but that's pretty much it. That's the flower. I think it looks really, really pretty, and I'm going to put that onto a baking tray, and I can start my next buttercream flower. So what I did for these buttercream flowers is I actually did it as a little bit of a gradient effect. I don't know if you can actually tell, but on the outside petals, this is now like a pink colour, and I kind of gradually got a bit darker as I went across from that. So I did this in 3 gradients, and you'll get a better idea of what I mean when you see them all on the tray. Now the only other flower I did was a little rosebud, so I start with a small bob in the middle, going around with that pink and just doing a swirl with my 103 tip again. and then with a lighter colour on the outside, I just go around that again. And I also did that again with that gradient pink colour. And you'll see just now that there is a bit of a gradient colour. You see how the English roses start with the white, and it gets a little bit of a dark pink, and then an even more of like a bit more of a salmony pink. Once my flowers have been in the fridge for about an hour, they should have crusted up and gotten a little bit more firmer so I can just sort of handle them. And I'm going to start to put them on my cake. So you're taking a little bit of buttercream, I'm going to stick them on. I start off with the whiter shade of my gradient on one side, and I get a slightly pinker on the other. And then going in with a leaf tip. Oh, I can't quite remember off the top of my head what this leaf tip was, but I will link it in the description box below. It's quite a dark green that I'm going around with, and I'm just gonna pipe that all the way around my cake. Just doing a few flowers, and I'm just doing a few leaves and a few in the middle. And then I start to put some of my rosebuds in there. Just say, again, following that gradient pink that I was doing. Now I'm doing some little blobs of green buttercream, a much lighter green than the leaves. And then once I've done that, I pipe some white buttercream on top of those. I'm not really sure what these were. I'm gonna call them succulents. Whenever I kind of do something that's green with buttercream and it's around flowers and I don't know what to call it, I always just call it a succulent. Like, I don't really know what it was I was doing, but I think they look pretty, so we're going with it. Then once I'd done those really random succulents or whatever it is you want to call them, I don't know, I then go in with what I'm calling grass. I went in with a number 3 writing tip and just did little blobs of that all around the cake, wherever I saw any white bits of cake, because I don't want to see any white bits of the cake on top, if you know what I mean. And that's just going to fill in our little sort of English rose garden that we have on top of our heart cake. And then, because I'm a little bit extra, I piped some vines on the sides of the cake, and then going around with that white buttercream, I'm just gonna pipe at the end of them. It's gonna sort of look like vines with flowers on the outside of the cake. And then I didn't want the board just to be, you know, the silver boringness. I just felt like this cake needed a little bit of extraness. I went in with some royal icing and I put that around the cake. It doesn't have to be super neat, and I cleaned it off. And then I put on some sprinkles. So I put on, you know, those Valentine sprinkles I used in my other cake tutorial. It was those white pearls, the pink pearls. I just kind of put them around the cake just so it was nice and pretty. And then just to neaten off the sides of the cake, I did a shell border as well. And that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much it for this cake tutorial, and I hope you love this cake as much as I do, and if you did, then please hit that like button, and if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. The buttons for those are just down there, so make sure you click both of those. It makes me very, very happy. And the links for all my social media bits, so you can follow me on that, are all in the description box below, as well as all the helpful links and whatever information it is I mentioned across this video. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. Will all be in the description box below, so if you click that read more button, or there's like a little arrow sometimes, just click that, it'll drop down and you'll see all that information there. And if you don't mind, guys, would you mind clicking that notification bell? I don't usually mention this, but I've recently noticed that YouTube doesn't show all the videos I subscribe to like in the description box. Like it was just like a couple of weeks ago, and there's Nick from the Scran Line. I don't know if you guys know him, he makes amazing cupcakes. Anyway, I follow him on Instagram, and he said he's uploaded a video. It was a cupcake. Can't quite remember off the top of my head what it was. I think it was like a Nutella and peanut butter one. And I wanted to go watch that video. I go in my subscription box and I couldn't find that video. And if I went on his channel though, if I'd searched for his channel, I could see it on there, and I was still subscribed to his channel. But what YouTube's doing is it's only showing you what they, I don't know how they decide this, but highlights of your subscriptions in your subscription box for some reason. I don't know why that is, because if I subscribe to someone, I obviously want to know and see all of their videos. It's a little bit stupid in my opinion. But if you click that notification bell, I just spat then, that's disgusting. If you click that notification bell, you'll get notifications on your phone, or you'll get an email whenever I upload a video, so you don't miss any of my videos. I don't know if that's affected any of you guys in any way. If you've noticed some of my videos don't show up in your subscription box, I don't know. But just in case, would you mind just clicking that button? I'll put a little icon somewhere on screen so you know what I'm talking about, what it looks like. It should be just next to should be just near the subscription button. So just click that please, so you don't miss any of my videos. That's basically what I'm trying to say. I'm blabbering on now. I'm gonna close this video off now, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week, weekend, whatever it is you're doing at the time watching this video, and I'll see you on my next one. So until then, take care and bye.